everybody. Thank you so much for showing up for Beyond the Trailhead. My name's Craig, and today we have an awesome company with us, X-Bionic, and then we have Max, which is one of the owners of X-Bionic, and I met his company at Switchback about 3 months ago, and just fell in love with their design. And then, of course, they gave me some socks, which I have right here, I think, and I've been running in them for a little bit, and just thought I'd have them on just to kind of hear from a larger brand and talking to a few different companies. Shoes typically are a pretty hard thing to create. Me and Max were talking just before we got on here that there's something different. It's something easy. It's easier to create a shirt, right? Not super easy, but when it comes to shoes and something that's on your feet and the technology behind it and everything else, it can be really, really hard to get right. So Max, why don't you tell us a little bit about your company, maybe even the background of where you kind of started and came from before you even came to X-Bionic, and we'd love to hear it.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you for invitation and for the introduction. And very happy to spend the time with you. I'm Max. I always say I'm a mountain person. I'm a kid of the woods, of the forest, and of the mountains. Since my early childhood, I always was driven by sports. And I did wrestling when I was a kid. That was my main sports. From 5 years old till 15 years old, that was my main thing. And then over the time, when I got a little bit older, already with 12, 13, 14, I transitioned into mountain sports, a lot of skiing and snowboarding in winter, cross-country skiing. I'm coming from Germany, from a mid-mountain range. And so this is why I'm saying I'm a kid from the forest, because I spend all my time outdoors in the forest with my parents, sleeping in the tent and doing cross-country skiing and all of this. And then I studied sports and economics, went into the sports industry. I moved to Switzerland because at least in Europe, for sure, I can say one of the most beautiful countries and best places to live when you love outdoors, when you love mountains. And so I started doing a lot of climbing, sports climbing and alpine climbing, a lot of mountain biking and trail running. So mountains are my playground, and this is what's driving me. And this is very closely connected to my professional career. My main background is I'm a product guy. I spend all my time in product. I spent time at Gore, who doing the Gore-Tex membrane. I spent time at Globetrotter. That's a very big German outdoor retailer. You can say something like REI.
Okay.
And then I spent more than 10 years at Mammut, Swiss outdoor gear brand, also well known in the US. And had different roles there. My last role was Chief Product Officer, so I was responsible for all the products, design, development, product management, all the suppliers, logistics, everything you need to imagine a product, to create it, and then to deliver it into the market in time and for the right price. With Mammut, I took with me, I was able to create really a very strong experience for different kind of products.
Mm-hmm.
We did hardware there, everything you need for climbing, avalanche safety, backpacks, sleeping bags, everything you have behind you. I think I was once involved in product development. Then for sure, very big business in apparel, technical apparel, skiing, jackets, mountaineering jackets, Gore-Tex, down, Polartec, all the fabrics, everything you can imagine, and then also footwear. And so I have a very diverse background in that. And then we took over X-Bionic, our beautiful brand. We took it over from the founder. It's a company which is existing already since 1997. And the founder and former owner is he's still alive. He's an inventor kind of person. He's an engineer, aeronautics engineer, and he was the first one to develop technical knitted products for sports.
Okay.
Seamless knitting for socks. You showed the socks before. This was the starting point, X socks. And then also base layer, so products which you can wear directly on your skin. And he found a complete new way to engineer those products, and they are really engineered, even if it's apparel, because they are 3D knitted. So we wrap the product, we create a 3D structure, we create height in the product,
Okay.
and an airflow in the product, And with that, they are very unique in the look and also in the functionality. It's all about thermoregulation. Core body temperature, 37 degree is our most important driving force to keep that stable. In winter, we warm. In winter, it works like you would wear a down jacket on your skin, directly on your skin, because you have the air pillow. And then when you are sweating, when it's hot, it cools you down, because we keep the humidity in the garment much longer than you would have it, for example, in a normal polyester shirt.
Okay.
And because of that, you have a constant evaporation, and based on that, constant cooling. So simplified said, we use every drop of sweat which you are creating to cool you down. We use the entire surface to distribute the sweat and to make it evaporate very slowly, consistently, and cooling you down. And we took over this beautiful brand end of 21. We took it over from the founder, and in Europe, but also in the US, the company has a really, really strong fan base. It's very unique products, and our mission is to rejuvenate the brand and to especially make it more contemporary. Based on the product foundation which we took over. We took over more than 800 patents in the field of thermoregulation and compression. So it's really crazy what the founder has developed. And now we position it in an up-to-date way, in a contemporary way. We completely reworked the collection, the brand look and feel. We did everything new. We can speak about that now in the following minutes. And here we are. So
well, that's really, really cool. I didn't know that you had taken it over in 2021, but I know that I was looking at the product and I was like, this looks really, really cool. And I don't know if I'm sure you have the show or seen the show maybe before. It's How It's Made. It's a show here in the US on Discovery and stuff like that, but shows you like how everything's made. So I love watching that. And so I love hearing how the technology behind everything happens, how even like the easiest thing as a simple thing is, some people think something as a sock is super, super simple, but there's so much tech that goes behind that and everything else. And then if I'll try to maybe put up on the screen some pictures from your website and stuff like that of some of the trail runners and stuff like that. But me coming from the ultralight hiking side of things and stuff like that, we love a good trail runner instead of wearing big boots when we're hiking, because when you have boots on, you might have some support in your ankle, but there's so much weight, and after doing 20,000-30,000 steps of hiking, you'd rather do that in a very light shoe than big boots and stuff like that. So if you could tell me kind of, maybe one of your key products. I know I keep going back to the shoes. I love socks and clothing, but I think what's really cool is the look of your shoes and kind of the function of what your shoes kind of bring to the table. Because I've worn many shoes, and I know everybody has a different type of foot and everything else. So what is special about your shoe and what it does for runners and hikers and people in the backcountry?
Here it is.
Oh, sweet.
Before we speak about it, here you can see it.
Whose leg is that?
That's a
Okay.
leg of a former employee. We have not been happy, so now we use just the next. No, that was a bad joke. We love all of our team and we need all of them. So no employee legs here in the shoes. It's a very special, very unique concept, and we launched the shoe last September, and it's one of our most important initiatives to rejuvenate the brand, because we asked ourselves, where are we really already good at in terms of activities, but really missing out on a key product, and that's trail running, because we used to do already since a very long time all the apparel for trail running, and our apparel works super well for that, because when you have changing weather conditions, you start in the valley, it's very hot, you go to the mountain and it's cold, it's windy. Our garments work exceptionally well because of the air pillow which we have in the garment, because of the 3D structure. You can run much longer with those garments without dressing up with a jacket or a wind blocker vest or something like that. But for sure in running, what is the most important piece of equipment which you need. This is the shoe.
Yeah.
And we had on the other side a super great idea for shoe, and we have in our environment very strong shoe people from Italy we started to discuss with. And the idea was very simple. Today, every shoe on the market delivers a lot of cushioning, very high stack, very soft midsole, and based on that, very comfortable, very much cushioned. And I always thought, I do a lot of trail running, a lot of mountain biking, and I thought, when I'm hitting the trails, technical trails, especially on the downhill, rocks, roots, steep downhill, I really don't like all of this cushioning in the shoes because it's instable.
Yeah.
You know, you don't feel the ground, you have a rollover effect. And then I was going back to my mountain bike. I do a lot of enduro riding and downhill biking. And for the mountain bike, what the brands did is they created bikes which are very soft in the vertical because of the fork and the shock, but in a way horizontally, so to say, they are very stiff. They have a stiff carbon frame. The fork is super stiff. We have carbon rims which are stiff.
Yeah.
And because of that, the entire bike is super snappy. It delivers a lot of control, a lot of precision. I can overshoot the jump. I can cut a corner.
Yeah.
And I still always know what is going on. I know when I have grip, when I lose grip. And exactly this sensation we wanted to create with the shoe. So we went back into our development room and we asked ourselves, what can we do if we really think from the skin,
Yeah.
from the feet until the ground? What is the elements which we can touch to combine cushioning with control? Because cushioning everybody can do, but to connect it with control, there's no shoe on the market which is doing that. This
Yeah.
was our driving force, and we thought this must be something very radical, which really creates a benefit for the user. So I can explain in a minute how we did it, but what I can share already, it's a trail running tool, if you want to say so, for technical trails. But ultimately, what we can also see here in Switzerland, most of the hikers, like you explained before, they also are moving into low cut shoes.
Yeah.
Because it's much more comfortable, much less weight, much less pain for your knees. And this shoe is the best low cut hiking shoe which you can find now to wear for long hikes.
Yeah.
And this is the entire concept.
No, it's so I've been last week. So my son, he's in cross country running at his middle school. So he's in 7th grade, and they just did their trial run. And so he just has a pair of normal shoes because I didn't want to get him something unless he really likes running. And because he's one of those kids right now, he just wants to play video games all the time. And and so once he did his trial run, it was on a track. And then, I never did any kind of cross country running other than when I got older, I was doing trail running. And now the last week I've been looking for some running shoes for him because they're running on grass, they're running on, dirt, but they're also running on the track. So leading up to our convo today, I was been looking at the shoes and the technology behind it, and I'm like trying to tell my son, like, hey, you might want to actually, try these shoes because they're, just like I would use them for trail running. He can use them for that. And then just looking at the tech behind it, the stability and everything else. And I had my hands on it when I was at Switchback a little bit too, so I was able to kind of, feel it as opposed to just look at it online. And so I'm pushing him towards getting your shoes and stuff like that, because I think he will, because one, he likes the style. I showed him the pictures of one of the shoes and he was like, I like that, because kids, they gotta love the style. And then and yeah, so you're selling me more and more on the shoes as I'm as we're on this call right now. So so why don't you tell, go ahead.
You need to give it a try, and then the shoe itself will speak for itself or for himself. I don't know how to say it in proper English. But it's really a sensation. Once you are wearing it and you are really using it on a technical trail, especially in the downhill, you feel immediately what we want to create. You just feel it. It's so cool. If you want to say so, if you're up to biking, it's the first real enduro, if not even, it's enduro, the first enduro bike in running shoes. And we just had an athlete last week calling us. He tried the shoe the first time, and he was calling us and saying, I felt invincible in the downhill.
Oh,
And
wow.
this is exactly
Yeah.
what we were after. And it's a great feeling because what was driving me when I was on the trails, I used to run in speed coat from Hoka.
hmm
I like the shoe, it's a good shoe when you are flat and okay, in the uphill too less heel support for me, but in the flat it was good. But then in the fast downhill, I always felt like I'm on the brakes,
Yeah.
because what is going on here? Do I roll over?
Yeah.
And I always thought with my mountain bike, I never feel like I'm on the brakes. For sure, I have to brake in front of the corner, and sometimes I have to reduce speed. But I always feel like I can push
Yeah.
until my personal limit is reached. And with the trail running shoes, I never felt like that before. I always thought like my legs would keep me up for a higher pace in the downhill. I would have the muscle support to do that.
Yeah.
The shoe does not give me the comfort or the confidence to really do it.
Yeah.
And so I love this translation from this athlete last week to say, yeah, I feel invincible, because that's perfectly put
Oh, yeah.
what we wanted to create.
No, I love how you figured it out too, using the mountain biking analogy and stuff like that, because that's how the ideas for all these things kind of pop in. It's like, man, this is
Mhm.
that feeling. And then you have all that experience at Mammoth and stuff like that too, with in the engineering and all these things. And it's like it just pops in, right? I feel like that was that pop in moment that it's like,
Absolutely.
we can create something that's going to crush it. Because I literally did. So I twisted my ankle on the Colorado Trail 60 miles into our 130-mile hike, and so I'm going to try to start running next week. But before that trip, I was running, and all the downhills that I was doing in the shoes that I'm in, like you said, I feel like I can keep going, but the shoes were holding me back. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see kind of that, have that feeling of, man, it's like an upgrade in a bike
Yeah.
kind of a
Yeah.
thing too. So
It's like the bigger version. And I would say all the shoes which you see today in trail running, from my translation with as a mountain biker, it's more like a gravel or maximum like a short travel cross country bike.
yeah.
You have the bike. It's a fast bike because we are coming from road running. All the shoes are road running shoes. And now we think about how can we make a road running shoe which is having a little bit more grip, a little bit more rugged outsole, da 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 da. But this is kind of like coming from road, going into trail running, and we thought really the opposite way. We thought, what is the perfect design for this technical, rooty, rocky terrain? And
Yeah.
then you start with a complete different starting point. Even if it's still a shoe, it's a very different starting point. And it was fun. It was really fun to go through that process. We spent a lot of time, more than 2.5 years, for development. It's not a normal development cycle. We built up a complete team, a lab, where we did all the prototyping ourselves. This lab is in Italy, in Montebelluna, the European Center of Footwear Development. Many American brands also have footwear development there, like Nike, like Hoka, for example. So we built all of that up just to follow that idea. And we didn't introduce now a footwear collection. We introduced a system, an idea of how we are thinking about
Yeah.
shoes for the mountains. And this was a fun process, but also very, very exhausting for sure.
Yeah. So kind of going into that process, I know we talked earlier, kind of trying to figure out maybe in that development, was there any kind of crazy story or a freak out moment, or, oh crap, this is not going to be easy, or manufacturing problems or anything like that? Is there anything you can think of that kind of stands
Yeah.
out to you?
All of it, I can share some details, but for me, there was this one moment which is standing out for me personally. The shoe is developed from Flavio, our CPO, Chief Product Officer. He's a footwear engineer. The word is too small. He's a footwear addict since ever. He's more than 20 years in the business. He's growing up in that business, and he assembled a team of footwear specialists. I think the team of 4, they have by far more than 100 years of experience in footwear. So they really know their shit.
Yeah.
And then we have discussed a lot about the concept, the idea. But at the beginning, it's just an idea, you know, and then you start to go into design and development process. And for me, there was one moment which really stood out. And it was, I always run in Valais in the south of Switzerland. I have a little mountain hut, and I used to go like the trails around my house, very steep terrain, like a very, let's say, not hidden forest, but not a lot of hiking tracks,
Yeah.
not many people, and I do the same loop there all the time as my normal home route. And Flavio was giving me the first proto. Like he had like different molds before, and the design direction, everything was already on the table. We liked it, we went into it, and then there was the first runnable proto. And I was running in that shoe, and it was a wet day, and I was on my downhill, which I know every rock there.
Yeah.
And like, and at one point there's this one rock which is really like a downhill, and it was soft. And I thought, on this rock I will now slip. And
Yeah.
I was like jumping on that rock, and I was not slipping.
Yeah.
And I was immediately stopping, and I was taking out my phone and sending him a voice message via WhatsApp and saying, "Listen, Flavio, what did you do? This shoe is so grippy. It
Yeah.
gives me so much control. I'm absolutely freaking out." I was alone in this forest,
Yeah.
which I know so well, standing on that trail, and I couldn't stop of sharing this
Yeah.
moment with him. And then I knew that we gonna make it,
Yeah.
because the concept will work out. This was for me this breakthrough
That's
moment,
cool.
because before it was an idea, and it was the first moment where I knew we actually really can make it.
Yeah.
And after that, it was still super hard because it was too heavy. We need a lot of engineering rounds to translate this concept in a really soft, lightweight running shoe.
Yeah.
Because everything which you add in terms of stability, in terms of grip, means often more material, more rubber, more frame. We have a frame around the midsole. And then we were working for another 1.5 years to really slice and dice every millimeter of the shoe,
Yeah.
of the construction, to find the perfect balance between cushioning, control, lightweight, softness, and here we are. And the press really loves it. Athletes really love the shoes. They look great. We get really many
Yeah.
dealers who are super curious about it, and started the business with us already now for the first 6 months of this year. So we are really happy.
Yeah, there's a lot of trail running shoes that are out there that they're like, I find that they're comfortable, but they don't look good too. And I know it's something stupid, but if you don't, I feel like when you don't look good, you don't feel like you look good. Sometimes you just don't. You can run. I feel like you run faster when you look good. But what you said about that trail that you run around all the time, you know every rock and everything. I think that's so key for product development for people. Is some people take it out to trails that they don't know, but when you go to something that you know over and over and over again, it's repetitive. I mean, I run the same, like similar to you, I run the same 5K loop that's in the trees. There's a park next to our home that's got a 5K loop that I go trail running on. So I'll do 2 or 3 or 4 laps of that. But I know everything, single spot, every rock and stuff like that. So when I'm out with like a new pair of shorts or shoes, and I'm like, man, that's so smart, is go and do something so you can go, oh, wait a second, I always slip on this, and now I'm just digging in hard, and you're like, this is it. We've cracked the code, so to speak, So
exactly like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So do you have any like ambitions in the next few years? Like, I know you're a European brand first and foremost, right? I mean, you're a worldwide brand, but coming over in the US more, or is it, I'm sure you are coming over in the US more and stuff like that, but because I can't wait to see it I have a trail run, like a backyard ultra that I'm doing in December. That's like a 3.8K loop. and then we're just doing that until we fail. And I feel like because it's I have home advantage here in Atlanta or North Georgia, that I'm gonna maybe test out some new shoes and stuff like that. Now that you said that downhill, because there's quite a bit of downhill on that's slippery, sandy dirt and stuff like that too. So I'm just thinking out loud about, every time I talk to somebody, I'm thinking how I can get better at my race in December. So
yeah. So we need to get you into shoes, and then you give them a try.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for us, for the US, absolutely. We are already in the US. We are already global main markets.
Yeah.
Europe. We are from Switzerland. We are a Swiss brand located in Zurich,
which I love because my last name's Obrist and my grandfather was
Obrist.
from Switzerland. And I know this is complete sidetrack, but my grandfather's from Switzerland, and then my rest of my grandparents are of German descent, but they're from Jamaica. So they immigrated to Jamaica back in like the 1800s, something like that.
Yeah.
And then, long story, but yeah. So I've been over to Switzerland a bunch. I've taken my wife. We were in Grindelwald we didn't even know the Ultra was going on then. And so we took our family and kids there. And my wife fell in love with Switzerland, and I was like, sweet. So we're going back to Switzerland pretty soon. So I'm going to pick your brain later on, probably about places to go and visit that are just off the beaten path. So,
absolutely.
Right.
I can give you hike recommendations, trail running recommendations, climbing recommendations, everything you need for the most hidden gems for Switzerland.
Sweet.
I think I know many kilometers of trail in this beautiful country.
Yeah. But you were saying you're a Swiss-based company in Europe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we already have a very big business in China.
Yep.
A very important market for us, and we also have a very good business in the US already. We with our own e-com, X-Bionic.com. We have actually US is our second biggest market. Always switching second to third biggest. It's Germany, Switzerland, and the US for e-com. So we have a strong community there. People who really love the brand since many years. This is great. We personally, for sure, we love the US because you have such great outdoors. You have a very active population. So many people who are really into sports and into wilderness. And based on that, a very good overlap, very strong overlap with our DNA, with our culture, with the way how we love to go to mountains. And so we started also to do B2B business in the US since last September. We started a subsidiary. We have Mike. I think you have met Mike in the US, traveling around, going to strong retailers, introducing the brand, explaining what we are doing, where we are coming from, where we are heading to. We are at Switchback at the trade show. We have been at TRE last year. We will go again to TRE this year. You will see us there if you are there.
Yeah.
Let's meet up. And so we are on our way. For sure, the US is big, and so we will do that step by step. And we want to do it also very community driven. What does this mean? It means being there with the people, being at the races. We have been at the NAR events, at those trail running events. Mike was there for us, running with the people, offering the people the possibility to test the shoes. And we are a brand for enthusiasts, for sports enthusiasts. We are all sports enthusiasts ourselves in the team. And so this is the way how we also want to bring the brand to the people and to the markets. For the US, our most important states is California and Colorado and Utah, plus New York State.
Yeah.
With north of New York. So really also where you have the mountains and people who are doing mountain sports all year round, skiing, cycling, trail running. This is where we are at home. And we are really looking forward to step by step having more and more presence in the right shops, at the right events, and being there.
Yeah. Well, with the enthusiasm you have and stuff like that, I think that's the best part about talking to people about their business is hearing the enthusiasm and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And knowing, like, I've talked to a lot of people either on this podcast or just at trade shows, and you just know when a brand's really, really good and believes in their
Mhm.
product. And then when you go to some places and you're like, oh, this company's going to fail in a few years because they
Mhm.
just don't care, or there's no like trust in their own brand, you know?
Yeah.
Like if I had talked to Mike was awesome, but talking to you too, I'm like, man, I get super stoked I just want to go out there. I have this hurt ankle and I want to go running right now after talking to you, and I want to go for a hike and all this stuff. So,
That's great.
yeah,
That's
you're
great.
pumping me up to kind of go do that. Do you I was kind of saying that you said, like, with California and everything else, is there a place that maybe someone sent you a picture, or you've just even seen your product, some weird place that you've just unexpectedly seen your products and stuff like that somewhere?
Yeah, I think the most weird or crazy place for our product for sure was space. Now it's a unfortunate story. Felix Baumgartner, who just
Yeah.
recently died, the pro athlete who was jumping from aerospace, he was using X-Bionic,
Oh, really?
uh, yeah, underneath his aerospace suit. So we were in space with him. Another, I would say, very odd place where you would not expect us is in the biggest waves on planet Earth, because Sebastian Stolpner, he's the world record holder in big wave
Hmm.
surfing in Nazaré, Portugal, 30-meter waves.
Yeah.
He's using X-Bionic under his wetsuit.
Really?
He was approaching us. Yeah, he said he was trying around because they surf in winter, super cold water, and they have a 7 millimeter thickness of wetsuit. And he was playing around with X-Bionic under the wetsuit, and he realized he can go down to 3 to 4 millimeters of wetsuit, so much thinner,
Yeah.
much more freedom of movement, and even more warm than the thick wetsuit. And so he's much less cold, and the compression is great for him. So he's using X-Bionic under his wetsuit to surf the biggest waves on planet Earth. I think this is maybe the two most odd places which
Yeah.
come to my mind when you ask me that question.
Yeah. Those are really odd like, I never would have thought that it would have been in space and then in the water. The water would have never crossed my mind
Yeah,
with that. That is crazy. I was just watching some surfing with my son maybe a few days ago. Um,
yeah,
and he's like, I mean, of course, my son again, he's like, what crazy person is doing that? And I'm like, man, when you get a little older, you're gonna want to do, crazy things sometimes, So
yeah.
do it. Do it when you're younger. No, that's really, really awesome. So I guess kind of coming to a little bit of a close in that, is, I guess, two questions. One is, those two pieces of gear that those two people were wearing. But what is their one piece of gear, whether it's your gear or someone else's gear? What is one piece of gear that you swear by whenever you're either running or hiking or doing anything that's like outdoor? Like, I know you said you do a lot of biking and stuff like that too. So maybe there's
Yeah.
a piece of gear that you're like, I must have it and everywhere that I go.
Yeah. So I start with the gear from us, something which you would not expect. This shirt,
Uh-huh.
Effector shirt. That's our compression running shirt, and I it was already this type of shirt was already created by the founder. And when we were in the buying process of the company, I tried it out, and I thought this is the best you can wear on your skin.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, this is something which it was this moment of clicking, because when you take this shirt out of the box, it comes in a box. It's compressive. It looks odd in first
Yeah.
place. If you don't know it and you have not experienced it, you have a little resistance to wear it. And then you pull it over and it feels in the very first place again odd, because all of us are not used to wear these super tight things.
Yeah.
Now everything is regular fit, relaxed,
Yeah.
comfy, da da da. And then I gave it a try and I was starting to run, and I thought you feel like you are wearing like a special armor, because it's so tight to
Yeah.
your body. And at one point you cannot feel the difference between your skin and your body anymore. And for temperature regulation and trail running, you just have all the time the perfect temperature. And I thought it's really like a second skin.
Oh, okay.
And you don't get painful nipples because it's so tight and so soft. I loved it.
Yeah.
And so I'm a big fan of these compressive wear, and I was not before before we started with
Yeah.
X-Bionic. I was not wearing the compressive running shirts, and now I really love them. So I want to be an advocate for that,
Yeah.
because I think many people out there just have to experience it, and then they will never go back. It feels like a second skin armor, and you really feel like, ooh, now I
Yeah.
have something different.
Yeah.
A little bit like the guy who's flying around with his armor suit. What's the name of the Marvel films?
Oh, man, there's so many characters that fly, so I don't even know.
Yeah, you know whom I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The coolest character.
Yeah.
The second piece of gear
Iron
I
Man.
love, which is not Iron Man.
Iron Man, there you go.
Thank you. The second piece I really love is it's super simple. Maybe you think I'm crazy, but headlamp.
Okay.
I think it's such a great invention. If you are on the outdoors, no matter if it's climbing, if it's backpacking, if it's hiking in the dark, you start early in the morning.
Yeah.
And for me, head torches also, when you start in the morning and it's still dark and you start with friends, it creates this feeling.
Yeah.
You know, you have these light dots, the group which is moving, you just
Yeah.
see those lights, and then it's always like that. At one point the sun is coming up and you don't need the torch anymore.
Yeah.
And I think this is for me a special moment of outdoor feeling,
Yeah.
outdoor activity to use that lamp.
It's funny because I love running at night. I just love running by headlamp so much more than running during the day. And all my friends,
really?
they want to run during the day. And I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I totally want to get up at 4 a.m. and go running or run at night. And there's the park that I run in, you're not supposed to run at night, but I still run at night all the time because there's something about that feeling. So no, I'm totally with you on that. So we're going to expect an X-Bionic head torch soon, right?
No, not today, not tomorrow, because this is even if I love mountain biking, we will not go into bikes.
Yeah.
I truly believe this is something which is really close to my heart. And as the CEO of the company, it's based on that, the rule for the company, we only do products when we really can make a difference. And because there's many good brands out there, many good products out there. Also, to be very honest, I think sometimes it's too much product out there, you know, and too much same but different. I don't want to be part of that. And we had a very extensive conversation before we started shoes. You know, we said nobody is waiting for an X-Bionic shoe in first place.
Yeah.
So we only do it if we are really able to deliver something which is creating value, which is not there.
Yeah.
And this is something super important, very high value for us to think like that. And so I think there are many very good headlamps out there, and there is no need. There's really no need for an X-Bionic headlamp.
I've got so many headlamps, I don't even know what to do with all the time. I always, when I go hiking, I bring 2 headlamps because I just want one that's light, but then the other times I want like some 1500 lumen torch that I can just blast out into the distance and just see everything. But actually, what you were saying kind of leads into my very last question, which is, you know, for somebody who's, you know, what kind of advice would you give someone at the trailhead of their business, you know, and they have a business dream, you know, you were like, hey, it's almost like you have to stay in your lane. What are we going to do amazing versus there's so many companies that do a bazillion things. All the big companies, North Face, everything else, eventually they just do everything. And then they figure out, oh, we should just stay in our lane. So if you could tell, I guess that might be your advice is for someone who's creating a business in the outdoors or has just started out their business and is just trying to get traction, what would one piece of advice be for, you know, that entrepreneur?
Yeah. I think what would be important for me is different for everybody, but I really believe it's not easy to build your own business. And sometimes I feel people are just distracted by a business target which they are having. want to earn a lot
Yeah.
of money, want to create a lot of wealth, I would not be too much sidetracked by that. I think you should follow something where you are really up to, where you're really into.
Yep.
You should really enjoy doing it, because anyway, it will be super hard. Like you are going into the mountains, you enjoy that climb, and even if it's super, super hard, bad weather, cold, whatever, you still enjoy it, you know? And I think this is for me personally very, very important to bring up the right level of resilience to be able to do so. I need to really enjoy it, and I need to 100% stand behind it.
Yeah.
And this is why I can speak also so emotionally about the stuff, because I live that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not my business.
Yeah.
I live that, and I will spend the days at the weekend in the mountains again, and I'm already looking forward to go running with my shoe.
Yeah.
You know, there are many
Yeah.
people involved. It's our shoe, but it's also partly my shoe.
Yeah.
I feel so close, and I think this is a very good advice. You really need to love it. Don't do it just for the business. Do it because you really want to make a mark, and
Yeah.
you are really enjoying the ride. I think that's very important.
Yeah. No, I think that's probably the best advice. I give that same advice to photographers and stuff like that when they, a lot of photographers in the wedding industry I used to do a lot in, they would do it for the money and not because they love it. And then every year or two, they would just come and go because they didn't love it. And for me, I always cried at every wedding that I shot. And I said to myself, when I stop having a crying moment at a wedding, it's when I know I'm not doing what I'm called to do anymore. So let me,
I love that.
Yeah.
picture.
And when I'm out in the woods now, when I'm shooting products for companies or I'm hiking, I still have those emotional moments when I see a sunset or something like that. I'm like, man, I love this. I even love the suck that comes along with it, and the stories that come along with it too. So no, I think that's great advice. Thank you for that. Okay, well, I appreciate you being on, and we kind of end off with a little bit of a quick little rapid fire round. So these are just quick one answer questions. You can just kind of pop them off. You don't have to go too deep into them. So yeah, you ready?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so first question, coffee or electrolyte drink on the trail?
Coffee.
Coffee. Nice. I'm the same way. I'm actually shooting for this company. They're called Dry Brew, and they're like a coffee chew that it's amazing. And so I've been taking on the trail recently instead of like doing electrolyte powders all the time. And it's like a hit of coffee, but it has that coffee taste in my mouth and everything. So you should really try them out. So I would say favorite national park, but maybe favorite national park or area in Switzerland.
It's Valle, where I will go at the weekend. But I have many more recommendations for you later.
Okay.
Valle, you have everything. You have the Matterhorn, or the highest mountains. You have lake. You have the nicest forests. Mountain biking, trail running, skiing, ski touring, mountaineering.
Yeah.
Everything packed in one region. It's so beautiful. You have to come and visit it.
I will be there sooner than later. Maybe I should go to that trail run in September.
Yeah, join us in Verbier.
Yeah.
It's in that region. It's very close to Chamonix, where the UTMB
Okay.
is. Chamonix is more or less the French side of that Alps region, which I'm talking about.
Okay.
Everything is there. This is where the magic happens.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's every YouTube video I watch, I get super stoked to just come out to that area of Europe and stuff like that. And I brush up on my French and my German. So, all right. So I think you've already kind of answered this one, but solo hike or crew mission?
I love also solo.
Yeah.
I should keep the answer short, but I would say it's depending on where we are with the business. Sometimes when it's too turbulent, I really love also spending time with myself, reflecting on the things. For sure, being out with friends is so cool.
Yeah.
If I can pick one, then a crew mission.
Okay. If you could collab with any brand, who would it be?
Difficult one.
We can come back to that one. Every time I ask that one, people are like, man, I never thought about that. So I'll let you.
I thought about it a lot.
Yeah.
The personal Max would love to do a collab with Yeti because I love their bikes. I'm a big fan of Yeti mountain bikes.
Okay.
Doing a cool apparel collection for Yeti would be cool. There's also cool fashion brands where we could really help with our technology to create a super nice fusion and a really great look of very fashionable apparel. So this is why I'm thinking a little bit.
Oh, sweet. All right. If you're on the trail, podcast or playlist?
Playlist.
Do you
Playlist.
run? Because I know I run with music probably 50% of the time, and then the other 50% I just want to listen to the wind or whatever. I feel like at night I like to listen to nothing, and then during the day I like to have music on.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I'm 90% with music, but I'm also running 95% on the day.
Yeah.
Start maybe in the morning when it's dark, but then during the day. But in the night, it's funny. In the night, I also cannot hear music because there's a sensation, it's something around you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because do you have bears out there?
No.
No bear. Okay.
No.
So yeah,
but,
where I run, there's bears, and I mean they're just black bears, so they're not gonna eat you. They're just gonna run away, and they're not here that often. Maybe once every 2 years, there's a black bear spotting where we are.
Yeah, we have wolves here,
Oh.
but normally you don't see them, and if you see them, maybe it's already a problem.
All right, 2 more. One word your team would use to best describe you.
Ambitious.
Ambitious. And last one. I'm not going to ask that one because you basically answered that one too. What's something you're still learning as a leader?
I'm humbled every day, and I would say taking the right time.
Yeah.
I tend to think and move very fast. Go. And taking the right time in the right moment.
Yeah. No,
it's not always easy.
Yeah. It's hard because I know as a creative person and stuff like that, your mind's always just firing off. And I think that's what's great about getting out in nature is just letting your brain still is firing off, but sometimes that endorphin rush and stuff like that just calms you as a person. And then after you're done, you can focus so much more on what you do. So no, that's great. That's great info. I really appreciate it. We really appreciate you being on today and taking the time. And I know it's a 6-hour difference, so you probably are almost done your workday, and I'm just starting my workday. But yeah, I look forward to meeting you in person and seeing you next time I come to Switzerland. I'll hit you up and see you at the trade shows and stuff like that. And everybody, thank you so much for listening today, and we'll see you next time on Beyond the Trailhead.
Thanks to all of you. Thank you, Craig, very much.
No, thank you.